All right, here we are. We are finally
Hey,
live. Sorry about the delay. To any of you who actually care about us being delayed,
I
there were,
care.
a couple of roadblocks. This week has just been kind of like one of those weeks where there's just so much shit going on.
Yes, yes, it is. You've got a work trip coming up.
Yeah. So like this week has been like wrapping up what I'd previously been working on at the day job and getting ready to move on to the next gig with them, which has me driving up to the Santa Rosa, San Francisco Bay area tomorrow.
Hmm.
Uh, so today, we were going to be talking about episode 21 of Star Trek Enterprise, Detained, which I am still excited to talk about because that was a good episode. But we're going to
Yes.
keep this episode a little short because I gotta go do like 3 weeks of laundry and I gotta fix a nail that's in my tire before I make that
Oh,
6 hour drive
still.
tomorrow. Yeah, like so I took it. I took it to two different franchise tire places to
Uh-huh.
get it patched.
Which will
One,
rename nameless.
yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal, but I don't want to give
Well,
them shit because it's not necessary. One of them, they were just like really busy, so they were like, "Can you leave your car with us for like 4 hours?" And I was like, No, I have stuff I need to do." So then I took it to the other one, and they were like, "All right, yeah, we can get this in for you in like 40 minutes." So I was like, "All right, cool. That's not a big deal." So I left. So I left it there. I walked up. So to you're familiar with Culver City, right?
yeah, yeah.
So the place I dropped it off at was basically across from what used to be the Culver City ice skating rink, and now it's like a Harbor Freight or something
Oh, okay.
on Sepulveda. So
I know the Harbor Freight. I didn't know it was an ice skating
so
rink.
yeah, right above the sign for Hardware Freight, there's an ice rink sign,
Oh,
and I'm like, is Harbor Freight and an ice rink in the same building? I don't understand this. And then I looked, and I guess Harbor Freight took over what used to be an ice rink and just never
rink.
changed the
I,
ice
I
rink
well, that's
stuff.
kind of, I mean, there's a lot of that kind of stuff here in LA where they, like,
Like
oh,
yeah,
that's a cool sign, so I'm
yeah,
gonna keep it.
like maybe it has some sort of like historical significance somehow. So they were like, oh
Hmm.
no, we're taking over the building, but we'll keep this because
We'll keep.
it's a landmark of some kind. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's like the car dealership over there near USC with the big Felix the cat.
Yeah.
And no, I mean, how many people know Felix the cat
Right.
nowadays?
Well, but isn't that car dealership called like Felix something or other?
It is. I've not done research, but I'm guessing it has to do with whoever owned it or
Mm,
owns it is the Felix family. I'm guessing.
maybe.
Um,
Yeah. I
either
don't
that
know.
or maybe
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 they're just
the
fans of Felix the cat.
Felix the cat. I don't know. Maybe the estate of Felix the cat gets proceeds from every car bought on the lot. I
I mean,
don't
I
know.
guess maybe that's better than a Fritz the cat. Be a
But
little different.
I mean, Felix the cat is a good name,
Yeah.
and I saw those cartoons when I was a kid, in like obviously reruns or
Oh yeah.
whatever.
They usually showed those with like Top Cat and Heathcliff
Hmm.
and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Um, but so I left the car there. I walked up to the shopping center that's at like the corner of Sepulveda and Culver, which has like a bunch of like restaurants in it,
Hmm.
a bunch of other stuff. So it was like maybe like 3/4 of a mile to a mile away. So I
Sure.
walked up there, went to Blaze Pizza, got a pizza, and sat there and ate it. And then they called me, and they're like, "Hey, so we can't fix your tire. The nail is too close to the sidewall." So I was like,
Okay.
"Great." So apparently, it's something that can still be repaired,
Uh-huh.
but because they are bound to specific standards or something,
Safety.
safety
Uh-huh.
stuff,
Yeah.
because
How dare they have safety protocols?
right, I guess where it's located is when you turn the tire, it
Hmm.
would be like even though it's on a back tire, if like I get the
Sure.
tires rotated and it becomes a front tire, when the tire turns, it would be right there on the turn.
Sure.
So that makes it a softer area and more prone to leaking or something. But
Right.
the person at the counter there was like, listen, if you take it to like some mom and pop place, they'll fix it for you. We just can't do it here.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, so I've patched plenty of tires in my life. Is there anything that
That you
makes where it's
sell?
at? Well, they sell tire patch kits, but
Right.
I was like, is there anything about this specific spot on the tire that makes it a harder patch than someplace else? And they're like, no, it's just because of the location. It's just something that we can't do. So I was like, okay. So I just went and bought a tire patch kit. Like I ended up spending $20 between the kit and a can of Fix-A-Flat. So
Uh-huh.
it was going to cost me like $25 to have them patch it for me. So now I'm just doing it myself for about the same price.
Yeah,
So I'm
sure.
like, whatever. So, but I still have to do that, which means I have to take the tire off the car, get it up to a gas station, or like patch the tire, get it up to a gas station so I can reinflate it, and then bring
Yep.
it back here, put it back on the car, and all of that.
That sounds exciting.
Right?
That sounds exciting. And somehow we didn't get that done in the 30 minutes that it took for us to get started on the stream.
Yeah. No. So anyway, a lot of crap to do before I leave tomorrow, and it's just a long morning.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna talk about some of the bigger news out of First Contact Day because I still have yet to watch all of the panels.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've gotten through a few of them. I mean, we watched a couple a second ago, and then I had caught the comedy one. I forget what it was called, but it was like Star Trek in comedy or something like that.
The one with Brent Spiner and
Uh-huh.
I wish they would have brought back like Joe Piscopo.
Right?
Because that was like the whole thing with that. Let me see if it's here.
Does he
creating comedy in Star Trek: The Next Generation?
Yeah, creating comedy. I saw some of that. And then what was the panel? We saw the outtake from it. It's the one that had the Borg Queen.
That full panel.
Yeah,
was,
that full panel.
Where is it here? I think it might have just been this First Contact 25th anniversary panel. Because since Alice Krieg was there, it would make sense that it came from that.
Yeah, I got to watch most of that one, and then of course the trailers, which we watched again, and as you correctly pointed out, I'm watching the Discovery trailer, and I'm just like, this looks fun.
Who are these people? What's going on?
Yeah, what's happening? What species of alien is that?
Right. That's one of the fun things about Discovery, and like that's one of the reasons now that I'm so excited about the fact that it does take place like 900 years in the future, or 1,000 years in the future. Because
what is that, season 2 or 3?
Season 3 is where it made that jump.
Time jump.
Season 1 and season 2 took place about 10 years before the original series.
Right.
And now they've jumped ahead in time.
Strange New Worlds supposed to take place right around that same 10-year period? Because it's Pike.
Strange New Worlds is going to take place after season 2 of Star Trek Discovery in that time frame, not in the future setting.
Oh, okay.
So it's still in that period between Pike being captain of the Enterprise before Kirk takes over.
And it's the same Christopher, or the same actor that played Pike in Discovery, right?
Yeah. Anson Mount, who was also Black Bolt in the very short-lived Inhumans Marvel TV series on ABC. He was in, I want to say, Sons of Anarchy or Hell on Wheels, or one of those shows.
One of those, Mayan something. Yeah. Another character that I guess that you just made me think of, Black Adam. Dwayne the Rock Johnson just announced.
Have you seen his new workout like shots
to get ready for it?
Huge.
Well, I mean, Black Adam is pretty big.
Yeah. But I mean, like, his calves are like the size of like my entire upper body.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the guy's like 10 foot tall, isn't he?
6'4".
6 foot, so 10 foot tall.
Yeah.
No.
I saw his post recently about being like, yeah, if I end up running for president, sure.
Right.
But it was something like, I bet the founding fathers never put much thought into a 6'4", half black, half Samoan dude being president.
But
I don't know how I feel about The Rock specifically being president, but someone that looked like him would be very interesting to have as the leader of the country.
Yeah, I have no problem with the social aspect of it. I'm done with
I
celebrity.
specifically mean like someone that looks like a bodybuilding meathead.
he would be
'Cause,
better.
I mean, I
than,
know that's not who The Rock is,
no, not at all.
but like if you
Yes, he
had no
does look
idea
that
who
way.
he was, that's what he looks like.
Gotcha. I guess it'd probably be kind of similar to maybe Teddy Roosevelt or maybe Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Yeah.
When they were president, particularly Teddy Roosevelt. Not that he was, like beefcake, but I mean, the man was a man's man,
Yeah.
kind of dude.
Yeah, he was like the Ron Swanson type guy.
Yeah, I just can't do any more celebrity. Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump. I love The Rock. I think The Rock is amazing. He can do no wrong.
I
And
mean,
if he,
I'd be okay with it if it was someone like Al Franken who got really involved with politics. Like like
okay,
it's like Al Franken like basically left like the Hollywood type thing to be a
right.
politician.
But
John Stewart, like if John Stewart,
Stewart,
like wanted to get into politics, then I'd be okay with that. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know.
I kind of like Al Franken, yes, because he kind of always similar to Jon Stewart once he started on the Daily Show, like that was his bent. He was very into politics, and part of his comedy was social commentary and political and humor and that sort of thing. Whereas like The Rock, similar to Ronald Reagan, similar to Donald Trump,
Just
no
popular.
political experience whatsoever. It would be, like to put it into today's discussions, we were just watching the trailer for the documentary on Nichelle Nichols.
Yeah.
Like had Nichelle Nichols run for something, like I could go for that because she came from entertainment and then moved into the political world via NASA. So like an Al Franken, I'm totally behind.
Yeah, like I mean, again, I don't know about him specifically without getting into like the political side of it, but someone like him who has the political experience now.
Mm-hmm. But well, I mean, I guess that's kind of Cory Booker as far as the beefcake thing goes.
Yeah.
Cory Booker is like a big dude.
I just like back in the day, like before it was revealed that all these people were kind of like assholes. I always kind of wanted like a Jesse Ventura, Hulk Hogan run for president.
Oh, that would have been. Oh well, what if it was? Oh no, I guess Arnold can't. But Jesse the Body Ventura, he was the.
He was like the governor of like Washington or mayor of some town or something.
No, he was the governor of Wisconsin.
Something like that. But just like one of those guys who like like someone does some foreign country like some kind of aggressive thing on us or something, and instead they're just like, listen, brother, you and me, 1-on-1 steel cage match. Whoever wins gets the other's country.
Minnesota. Yeah, was good. I was way off. Well, I mean, Wisconsin, Minnesota, they're in that same neck of the woods. But yeah, brother. If you don't tear down that wall, I'm gonna tear it down for you.
I think that would be funny. It would legit be Idiocracy with Terry when Terry Crews was president.
Terry Crews. Although I did like what was it, Tiny Liston in Fifth Element.
Yeah.
I did like him as the president. I could have gone for that.
Yeah. Oh, that was fun. Oh, that was fun. Anyway, let's jump into some of these announcements here. So,
yes.
Let's see. What do we want to start with? Janeway and Prodigy?
Yeah. So he kind of announced what her role is going to be. It hadn't been announced prior to First Contact Day, right? We didn't know exactly. So
we knew that she was going to be in it. We knew that.
We thought she was actually going to be live action within the animated show, right?
We didn't know what year the show was taking place in,
right.
And we didn't know what kind of
timeline.
Yeah, what the timeline was for it, or what her like how involved in it she was going to be in, and what capacity she was going to be involved in it. So now we know that this is going to be.
She's.
Yeah, it's going to be a younger version of Janeway in hologram form. It's going to take place a few years after Voyager returns to the Alpha Quadrant. But I'm still a little confused about the
Now,
ship.
when you say younger, do you mean younger in the sense of like she was recorded as a hologram prior to her going out on the in Voyager, or younger in the sense of not as old as she would be in Picard?
Yes, yeah, like younger as in not current age.
Current age. Gotcha.
Kate Mulgrew,
Younger than
Kate
younger than Katie
Kate
Mulgrew's
Mulgrew
current
as
age.
yeah, her Voyager age, not her age now.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. So
Oh,
you kind of
Donnie was just saying he loves the new uniforms in the season 4 teaser.
yeah, they look good.
Yeah. Although I did mention that the emblem resembles a surfboard more than any other
A
emblem
little bit,
has,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So on the screen now, you can see what Janeway's design for the show is. Uh, it's interesting that she's going to be basically like an EMH.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yep.
had something like that in this new season of Picard.
Yeah.
The ship that they were on, I can't remember the character's name or the name of the guy who plays him, but the guy whose ship they're on had several different holograms of himself that performed different roles on the ship.
Right. Right.
So she's going to be sort of like that and help the kids who get this ship kind of do whatever it is that they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it's
There's still been no announcement on the kids themselves, right? We don't know. Is it kind of a Teen Titans-esque kind of thing, or is it they're all normal type aliens?
So okay, here I'll read what it says here. Paramount Plus today released a first look image of Captain Catherine Janeway in its upcoming all new animated kids series Star Trek Prodigy. Kate Mulgrew reprises her role as Janeway, who will serve as the Star Trek Prodigy starship's built-in emergency training hologram. The news was revealed by series executive producers Kevin and Dan Hageman during today's virtual Global First Contact Day panels. The Hagemans also revealed that the series takes place in the year 2383, so that's 16 years before the first season of Picard. Mm-hmm. After the events of Star Trek Voyager and in the Delta Quadrant. So
yes, which is why it makes sense that Katie Mulgrew or Janeway would be in it.
Yeah, so we were talking about this last week. After the announcement, where does the ship come from? So you had mentioned that it might have been from that episode where the other ship came in, Captain Ransom's ship.
Ransom, yeah.
But his ship was destroyed.
His ship does get destroyed,
but
but
I don't know.
Well, the reason I mentioned it wasn't necessarily their ship, but the fact that
even if it wasn't destroyed, how would there be a hologram of Captain Janeway on it?
Captain Janeway. So it's got to be a newer one.
Yeah.
But what I wasn't theorizing that it was Ransom's ship, but I was pointing out that other ships had gotten lost in the Delta Quadrant. Yeah. So I wasn't sure. But if I remember correctly, isn't the premise that like they take over the ship for some reason?
So it was a derelict ship that they found, and they took it over. So the question is, if this is 2383, so it's like 5 years after Voyager came back to got back to the Alpha Beta Quadrant area, mm-hmm. How was there enough time for them to create a emergency training hologram of Janeway, and for that ship to get back out to the Delta Quadrant, and for that ship to become a derelict?
Right. What if? Okay, I'm completely. This is going to be totally wrong, but species
8427.
8427. I was going to say 9427. 8427.
8675309.
Yeah, exactly. Species 8675309. But what if? Because remember the episode where they found the planet in which a human colony was there, but it turns out that the humans were just species 8427 in disguise. What if they had built a mock-up starship and they created a Janeway protocol because they had so many encounters with Janeway? So what if they built a mock-up there, and then when they ended up going back to fluidic space because
that ship just got left there.
That ship got left around or something, and then this group of kids, for whatever reason, find it.
That's a solid theory.
Yeah, I got one. No, but that's the only thing I can really think of, unless it is, uh, a manned craft that the crew mysteriously disappeared. I don't know. Maybe
Right.
maybe they went through a wormhole, and this particular wormhole, kind of like the wormhole near Bajor, where sometimes you go through and the founders, not the founders, what were the spirits called?
The wormhole aliens.
The wormhole aliens. But
The prophets.
so the prophets, that's it, the prophets. So, and the prophets would kind of pull you out of your ship for a minute. So maybe this crew went through a wormhole and there happened to be something that pulled them out of their ship. Um,
Maybe. I
I
mean,
don't know.
I guess also like we had been discussing that they could have traveled through like a transwarp corridor. Like
Corridor.
maybe Starfleet actually has access to those now after Voyager got back with the knowledge that they had.
Right. Yeah. All possible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
But
I'm kind of excited to find that out though. Like
yeah.
I'm sort of glad that I don't know, so that
Mhm.
when it's revealed in the series, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Or I guess possibly, all right, that's kind of dumb. I'm glad I didn't
That's
know
kind
that
of, yeah.
beforehand.
Right. Part of me is like, why don't we get this to the producers so they can change it? Because
Yeah,
I like my species A427
yeah.
angle. I think that's perfect. Um, but I'm really excited to see if these because there's not a human among them, right? If I remember correctly, they're all
No. So you can see them here.
yeah.
Let me see if it'll let me.
There's the
Let
rock
me see.
guy.
Yeah.
There's a water dude, and so like. I mean, to me, it seems reminiscent of Teen Titans when I look at the image.
Yeah.
But I never thought of Star Trek as a superhero kind of thing. But we did have that discussion the other day. What about a superhero in Star Trek?
Right. Yeah.
So,
Well, because I mean, I think that came up because I had mentioned that there were books where the X-Men had crossed over with the Star Trek universe, and there was a Green Lantern Star Trek crossover as
Star
well.
Trek, yeah, exactly. And there's no reason. I mean, technically, Superman is an alien, and
Yeah.
so had Krypton not been blown up, theoretically, any one of the Enterprise crews could have come across Krypton, and then they would have seen this race of superpowered
Although
beings.
on Krypton they weren't super powered because of the Red
Uh,
Sun.
but they would have been superpowered to us.
No. So on Krypton they're just regular. They're just
The,
regular
the
people.
red the red sun
The,
keeps them because they still fly around and shit
uh,
on their. But well, they got technology.
yeah,
That's right. That's right.
yeah. So it's the yellow sun that gives them the
That gives
powers.
them the
The
powers.
red sun makes them just like us. They just have a
Yeah.
higher body density. So
Right.
I don't know that a regular person could survive on Krypton just because of
Are,
the.
what if a regular person, or what if a human person actually got powers on Krypton?
That would be interesting. Just
So
completely the opposite.
what the yellow sun does to Superman,
the
the red sun does to
us.
Homo sapiens.
Interesting. But I mean, like even within the Star Trek universe, we also watched Q. I guess it's a good time to cue
Yeah.
that. Let me what's back? I don't know what back is on a
Escape.
when I have it in full screen.
Oh, sure.
Here, there we go. Q is coming back for Card Season 2.
Yes, he is. Excited about that. I'm a little bummed that it sounds like it's only one episode, but
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they didn't really say.
No, I was just in much the same way that we can scour Patrick Stewart's words for time travel,
Yeah,
and kind of hint on that there's time travel, but I feel that he also was very he talks about an episode specifically. There's an episode that I guess they haven't filmed yet, but I guess they've written it, so at least they know what they're doing.
To me, that kind of sounded like he was talking about when Picard sees Q for the first time again. Not necessarily that's going to be the only episode that he appears in.
Gotcha.
So I'm extrapolating and speculating based off of the time, off of Patrick Stewart mentioning the different times that we're going to see, to mean that it's going to be a series where maybe Q is traveling Picard through time to see different things.
Excuse me. I think that's absolutely right on. I mean, that would make the most sense.
Because he specifically said the different places and different times that we're going to see. So maybe it's. I mean, the finale of TNG was basically a Christmas Carol type episode.
Yes.
So I don't know how I feel about an entire season of a show being basically the same thing, just different. So I'm interested to see how they bring him in, because season 1 was so good. I can't imagine that they're going to retread things that they've already done previously.
Yeah. I'm hoping that what season 1 did so well in like getting us the new world that we're now used to with these old favorites that we've had. Now I'm hoping that they kind of move forward into new territory with them, even if they bring back some of the others. Like I would love to see any number of characters return.
Yeah, well, we also know that Whoopi Goldberg is coming back for this season too.
That's right. They are bringing her back, which I don't know if you're familiar with the story, but Will Wheaton maintains that Whoopi Goldberg is the reason that Next Generation actually continued. Have you heard that story?
No, but it wouldn't surprise me.
So season 1 of TNG, and when did she come on? She came on season 2, right?
Yeah. Because I remember like the story about her like wanting to be on Star Trek and them trying to find a role for her on the show.
Yes. And I think she came in season 2 of TNG. And so the story goes, according to Will Wheaton, is that TNG, the first season, they were actually considering canceling after it did kind of.
I mean, the first seasons were a mess.
Rough. They were rough. But
have you seen Chaos on the Bridge?
No, I haven't yet. But I do need to see that.
You should definitely watch it. It's really interesting.
But apparently, Whoopi Goldberg wanting to come into the show, she wasn't aware that behind the scenes that the creators were considering canceling TNG. And then when it came to their attention that she really wanted to be on Star Trek, and they were like over the moon excited. So bringing her on and writing her character into it and finding the throughways apparently was one of the things that kept the show going.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What I still want to know about Guinan, though, is when she sees Q for the first time on the show, she knows who he is.
Yes.
I want to know about their history.
I would love to see that. Maybe actually that's very possible in this season then. If there's time travel involved and they're bringing Guinan back, that maybe we'll actually see
like she has this thing, like she's like with her hands, like when
she's got that.
And it's like, what are you doing?
I think she was like trying to Vulcan neck pinch from a distance or something.
I don't know. I just want to know what she was trying to do there, or what she was threatening to do.
Threatening to do. Also, I would have loved to have seen the initial encounter between Guinan and Jean-Luc, because they constantly allude to a romantic engagement.
Well, I mean, we kind of did see the first.
That's right.
In the season finale of the fifth or sixth season, when they went back in time and met Mark Twain, that was when she met him for the first time. But we don't know. But here's the thing: we don't know when he met her for the first time.
For the first time, exactly. It's very Doctor Who-ish.
Yeah.
That was a good episode. I'm not normally a fan of historical episodes, but even the actor that they got to play Mark Twain, I thought was great. Yeah, I thought he was fantastic, and it didn't feel like overly hammy of let's insert random historical guy. Same thing with John Rhys Davies' Leo da Vinci. Yeah. I actually thought I thought that was well done too. I wish they had done a little more with that, but.
Also, was it Jack London? Is that who the bellhop was?
Um, was it Jack London? I think you're
The
right.
the writer Jack London, is that the name of the writer?
Jack London. Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Jack London
yeah.
was the writer. Or no, wait, was Jack London the Little House on the Prairie guy?
No, no. What the hell's his name? I gotta look it up.
I th- Jack London
Yeah,
was the
yeah,
person.
Jack London.
Okay,
He
yeah,
wrote The Call of the Wild, White Fang, and The Seawolf.
right. Yes, yes. Which the Call of the Wild, didn't they just do a Harrison Ford movie on that?
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah,
he?
yeah,
He just did that, right?
yeah. It's on Disney Plus.
hmm I don't know if it's any good, but
Let's see.
Harrison Ford
Jack
an adult.
London in Star Trek. He was played by Michael Aaron, who let's see. I know he's been in a bunch of other stuff. He was on the TV show Tribes
Mm.
and a couple of episodes of China Beach, which Robert Picardo was also in.
Oh yeah, okay. There's a
Oh,
connection.
and California Dreams, the Saved by the Bell type show.
I never saw that.
Like I knew you'd looked familiar from someplace.
Okay.
Uh,
All right, Bayside High forever. I
right?
don't need to anything else.
Have you seen the new show?
No, I didn't want to bother. And then recently the gentleman that played Screech just passed.
Yeah, yeah, that was
Yeah.
sad. That was sad.
Dustin
Dustin Diamond.
Diamond,
Yeah.
which is the wrestler's name too. Dusty Diamond.
There's Diamond Dallas Page.
Diamond Dallas Page. Yeah. It sounds like a
There's a
wrestler's name.
Dusty something. I can't remember. Uh but yeah. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what goes on between Q and Guinan and Picard
Mhm.
and who else is going to maybe show up. I mean, I would love to see Crusher show up.
Yes.
I know Michael Dorn said that they haven't even approached him about coming back, but like seeing Worf back would be great.
Yeah, I imagine they got to
Quark,
bring him back,
like
but maybe
like
they're
say
trying to
like
right.
Quark would be amazing.
Quark,
Or
what
Rom,
Nog?
Nog. Well,
Nog.
Nog passed away.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
not know that.
Just before Rene Auberjonois. It was
Oh,
like
wow.
sometime
I
in the past
missed
couple of
that.
years.
Oh, man.
Um,
Well, at least he's in the Star Trek game.
yeah, it was something like completely random too. It was just like a freak like medical condition that just kind of popped up.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a lot. Cisco, I would absolutely love to see Cisco come back.
I wish he would. He's more open to it now than he has been in the past. If I remember
Sirach
correctly.
Lofton, who played his son Jake, said that he, I guess, kind of keeps in touch with Avery Brooks, and that he had mentioned that he wouldn't be opposed to it in the future, because his issue wasn't with Star Trek as much as it was, I guess, with Hollywood in general.
Right. Yeah. He kind of left acting for a bit.
Yeah, well, he's like a teacher now at like Rutgers or something.
That's not bad,
right?
I mean, heck, one of my teachers is Avery Brooks. That's a pretty cool thing to be able to say,
right? Like,
yeah,
like I had a professor who wrote like a couple of movies, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
but no one would know who he was.
See,
like Avery Brooks, people would know who he is.
I was very fortunate going to USC, great program for graduate studies, but a few of my professors are people that are like, oh yeah, I know that person. But Star Trek specific, I was taught by Garrick.
Really?
Uh-huh. Andy Robinson was one of my teachers.
Mm-hmm.
I consider him a
Garrick was one of my favorite characters on Deep Space Nine.
He's fantastic. I honestly wish that they had more Garrick, but that's also, I'm just a fan of Andy Robinson. I'm partial because he's like one of my mentors and I love the man dearly. But yeah, getting taught by him was amazing.
The professor that I had that had written a couple of things. He wrote. It was a movie. I can't remember what it was called. But it was one of the like really early like LGBTQ friendly films from like the early 80s.
Right.
With, like Harry Hamlin was in it from the original Clash of the Titans. And I don't remember if it was the same movie or a different movie, but Anthony Perkins was in something that he had written too.
Mm,
And
that's cool.
uh, uh, the dude who directed Tommy directed the movie.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head either.
Yeah, I love the Who's Tommy. I mean, it's nutty, but
Yeah, yeah. It's just a weird thing.
yeah, all those movies were. I mean, any of the Beatles films were
Yeah,
nutty. The
the Monkeys
Doors,
movies.
the Monkeys movies, even the Monkeys TV show.
Well, 33 and a third. No, Head. The Monkeys movie Head was co-written by Jack Nicholson.
Was it
Yeah,
really? I okay. I didn't know
I
he
think it was
did
Head.
that.
It might have been 33 and a third, but I think it was Head.
Okay, okay.
Um,
So what do we have next? So we Picard season 2.
yeah.
Um,
So let
that
me.
so uh specifically, what about the trailer did you like? Because we were just talking about Cisco, and you had mentioned that there's a Bajoran artifact.
Yes. Let me find the thing here. Search for Picard drops new promo. Load more. Where is it? NYCC trailer. Let me go back another screen again. See if I can remember the button. I figured out the button. Okay.
All
So
right.
start first look. All right, come on, load. Sometimes our internet is like really super fast, and then other
And then
times it just
other
seems
time.
seems like things just take a long time to load.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got an ad right near with Captain Obvious for Expedia or Hotels.com or something. And okay, let me make this full screen here. So you're not gonna be able to hear it, but it starts off, and we're zooming into what looks like Picard's house. And right here, it's kind of small on the screen, so I don't know if the people watching can actually see it. But in the middle of the screen, you see a Bajoran type artifact, which I actually have information on what that is here. Give me 1 second to pull this up. Of course, I closed that tab. Uh,
I'm watching the trailer. You can see it decently enough.
yeah, in the trailer, I just don't know because I've got it small in the side of our screen.
Yeah, no. If you blow up the
Oh.
screen, you can see it
Cool,
fine.
cool, cool. So, this is where is it? The Reckoning tablet.
What was that one from?
It's
Is
an
that what he got? Was that one of the things that he got when he went underground?
I think so. What it says here, it's an oval-shaped stone with Bajoran carvings that's missing a few pieces from wear and tear. Um, in this from wear and tear. But if you're a fan of Deep Space Nine, it's an exciting Easter egg that may point to the long-awaited return of everyone's favorite emissary, Captain Benjamin Sisko. Okay, here it is. What is a Bajoran Reckoning tablet? Uh, it made its first and only TV appearance in the episode The Reckoning, when it was discovered and taken to Deep Space Nine to be studied. Cisco worked with Dax to try and decipher the markings on the tablet, which is an ancient Bajoran artifact with significant ties to the Prophets, the
Right.
wormhole aliens, who also serve as gods to the Bajoran people. In addition to housing a prophet, the tablet also housed a Pa Wraith.
Oh, that was the Paw Wraith that escaped, right?
Yeah,
And ended up who did it get inside of?
Jake.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Um, So, yeah, is that going to be a thing, or is it just something that he has for some reason? I don't, I don't know.
No, it's got to be something. I can't imagine that. I it's front and center, and I mean it's important because it even starts out on his family estate.
Yeah,
So is there going to be is there going to be trouble at home? Because I know that's always been his like go back to find his center.
yeah, but
Um,
we also know that his except for him, his family is gone because his
yes,
brother-in-law died in
I
what was it insurrection.
I think so. I think so. Yeah. So I mean, but like, so what's wrong with the estate?
Yeah, I don't
I don't
know.
know.
We have picture or a painting of the Enterprise.
Hmm.
Um, then there's a Starfleet badge, Paradise Lost.
Yes, which one thing that Star Trek loves to do is use old texts. I mean, Dante's Inferno has been utilized. Tons of Shakespeare plays have been utilized. In fact, last week's episode that we were talking about, Oasis, has strong ties to The Tempest.
Yeah. So, I mean, Paradise Lost could be an indication of how a Q is going to play into it, maybe.
Hmm.
Because I mean,
How's,
because the have you ever read Paradise Lost?
back when I was in school,
Yeah,
it's been a
same
while.
with me. So I'm looking at Wikipedia. Uh, the poem follows the epic tradition of starting in the middle of things, and
Right.
the background story being recounted later. The story has two narrative arcs, one about Satan and the other about Adam and Eve. It begins after Satan and the other fallen angels have been defeated and banished to hell, or as it's called in the poem, Tartarus.
Yes.
And I believe, isn't there's something in Star Trek that's called Tartarus?
Actually, yes. Why
Tartarus Prime. It was a planet.
planet?
Let me hold on. Let me pull up the.
But yeah,
It's
Tartarus, wasn't that the
beta. I
Greek?
don't want. I don't.
Wasn't that the Greek hell? Wasn't that
Yeah,
where
yeah.
Hades
The Greek
Hades ruled over
underworld.
Tartarus?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um. Actually, this looks like it was just from Tartarus Prime was a planet with a fiery surface located in the Tartarus star system, somewhere in the Alpha or Beta quadrants. In the year 2270, Spock told Leonard McCoy that he had a feeling Sean Christopher's mind was actually in James T. Kirk's body, and McCoy said someone should check on Tartarus Prime to see if it had frozen over. This was from a TOS novel, The Rings of Time. So that's not official Star Trek canon.
Gotcha.
Let me see. Let me see if there's Tartarus was. This is there any? Yeah. This is just from TOS novels, not official canon.
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, like we know sometimes they take inspiration from some of the non canon stuff. So
Yes, of course, of
you know.
course. I mean, you might as well should. That's
Mm-hmm.
part of why it's there.
So yeah, so I don't know. The this definitely takes place after the Civil War within the Q continuum.
Yep. Yep.
And in
Absolutely.
Paradise Lost, it's a the some sort of like an angelic war is
Yes.
has happened, and it kind of covers that. Um, so I don't know. I know there was a book. There was another book called the Q Continuum.
Hmm.
That featured Q and Picard, of course, and explained why Q was so interested in humanity.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't. So maybe this series might be taking some
Lifting some of that.
lifting some of that, because it also kind of, I mean, that book also explains why there's a barrier at the center of the universe that was holding in that giant space head thing, and other things. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that actually plays out, given what Paradise Lost is.
But
Um,
then there's also the oh, what you're going back through the trailer. Okay.
yeah. So now we also have this NCC 2893, I think, is what that says.
Is that the golden replica?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Stargazer.
Oh, okay.
So that makes sense. I did not recognize the design of that ship. Then there's the hourglass with the time moving backwards.
Right.
And then we get to the cards that we had seen in the original trailer for the first season of Picard, where he was playing poker with Data. The card gets snapped away by Thanos, and all that's left is the Q. And then we hear Q saying, "The trial never ends."
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's the great part. I love the trial never ends. What does that mean? Does that mean Q is back to being a vindictive, snideful, prideful, lovable jerk? Or is he still all of that, but on humanity's side?
So, well, I mean, everything that he did in the series was to help humanity and himself.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing that he did was malicious and was like directly malicious in nature.
Okay.
So I don't know. Because I mean, like we saw, when he did the Christmas story or the Christmas Carol episode earlier in the season or
Mm-hmm.
earlier in the series when Picard was getting surgery on his heart and
Right.
took him back through time and let him see what would happen if he had changed. Or I guess that was Miracle on 34th Street, not
Street. Yeah.
not Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol would have been the last episode, sort of.
Yeah.
But that was to help Picard. When he introduced us to the Borg, that was to be like, hey, here's a threat that's coming your way. You guys need to get prepared for this because you don't know what else is out there in the universe.
Yeah.
So like everything that he's done has been done in his own special way to try and help humanity.
In a way.
Yeah.
And
even if he's being kind of a douche canoe about it.
To put it mildly.
Yeah.
What would be something that you want to see Q do? That because he's omnipotent. He's got all the power in the universe.
That's a good question.
Like, do you think he's going to dangle the carrot in front of Jean-Luc, like, I can give you your youth back or something?
I mean, that might be a thing, but we know from did you see season 1 of Picard?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So there's.
I'm trying to stay in order right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly would recommend watching it because you're basically caught up like with most everything up to after because like you've seen Enterprise previously, right?
Not all of it.
Not all of it. Okay.
No, I hadn't finished season 4. I'm finishing
but
up.
you're caught up through Voyager.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and you see the J.J. Abrams movies.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. The Kelvin timeline. Yeah.
So you're pretty much caught up with everything that you need to know in order to see Picard.
Gotcha.
Because things happen at the end of the series that kind of cross that bridge.
Oh, okay.
A little bit.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it because it's kind of not a big moment, but it plays really heavily into how Data came back, or has come back, or what his role is.
Yeah.
In this, and why Picard is kind of having dreams of him. So it's an interesting thing. Maybe we can do watch-alongs.
We could do first episode watch-alongs.
Yeah,
or first time watch-alongs.
Yeah. Maybe that'll be a Twitch thing that we do as a side thing to talking about Enterprise.
The only reason I say something like that, and obviously I guess the youth thing would be off the table, but being that Paradise Lost, Battle of Good and Evil, taking place in like the echelons of heaven, basically, but also amongst men, would it be inconceivable that Q is maybe going to offer Picard a place amongst the Q?
That would not surprise me. Because he already offered a place amongst the Q to Riker at one point in time.
Yes, at the very first time they met.
Yeah. Second, I think.
Second. Oh yeah, the first time was the trial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the second time, and because Riker ended up having the power.
Yeah.
And Riker kind of went a little crazy with it, and then.
Yeah, it was one of those things where he was like, "No, I don't want this power, or I don't want to use it. Like, I'll never use this power to change the course of the natural course of what's happening."
Right.
And Q was like, "Yes, you will."
And he would have.
Yeah, and a lot of people got killed and died because of shit that Q did. And Riker was like, "Nope, I'm not going to allow this to happen," and reversed everything.
Yeah.
And Q was basically like, "See,
you
get this power, you kind of have to use it."
Yeah, you got responsibilities.
Which is kind of funny because that's also a theme that's being addressed in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier currently.
Yes, actually. Oh, I have not watched this week's episode yet. How was it?
Best episode so far.
Sweet, sweet. I was a little.
Absolutely the
I mean,
best episode.
I wasn't disappointed with last week's episode. Zemo's hilarious, but I felt it was the weakest so far.
I mean, the best thing that we got out of that episode was the dancing Zemo.
The dancing Zemo. Yeah, that was great. Dancing Zemo is always great.
Which I then went ahead and spent an entire day and a half trying to mask him out. I got there. I got it to work.
Oh, sweet, sweet. And now you know how to use After Effects like a pro.
Semi-pro?
Now, please help me. I know we're supposed to be talking about Star Trek. Who was the lady in that episode? I don't remember her.
Carly?
Yes.
The Flag Smasher?
Yes.
So her character, Flag Smasher, is a character from the comics, but in the comics it was a guy.
Okay.
So she's a different version of the Flag Smasher character.
But
so her story is like completely new.
Was she in any of the movies for a second?
No.
No, she was a new character for that episode.
For the show in general.
For the show in general. Okay. Yeah. Okay, because I got confused. I'm watching it and they talk about their past and everything, and she goes, "Well, the last time I gave you the shield and I gave you that and this and everything," and I'm just sitting there like, when did that happen?
yeah. That was all new.
Okay, good.
Let me see what else we got here because
we've got Lower Decks.
Lower Decks. I'm excited. Like we didn't really get any like specifics about what's happening in Lower Decks. Like I think the best bit that I saw in that trailer was with Riker at the end of the thing where he was it was something it was I forget what he said, but it was like something in the key of jazz 5 6 7 8 and then they start going. So that was fun. We got the first look at Discovery season 4. Mm-hmm. We haven't gotten anything new on Strange New Worlds yet.
No, just the one.
Just that one trailer,
which is dope.
We also got an announcement. Not even really an announcement, just something that was revealed. Is that there is a Star Trek movie back on the slate to come out in 2023.
Now they didn't even mention if it's Kelvin or main timeline, right?
We have no idea.
No idea.
So this might be Kelvin with Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto and all those folks, or this might be something new. We as far as we know, it's not the Quentin Tarantino movie that was supposed to be rated R and whatever, which would have been an interesting take on Star Trek.
Always worth an experiment.
I don't think it's going to be another TNG movie.
Probably not. I can't imagine. If anything, maybe a Discovery.
So that's actually my guess.
Yeah.
So we know, like, if you go over to our website, theilluminary.com, you will find breakdowns for the Section 31 show. We got some of the character breakdowns for some of the characters who are going to be on that show. Now, something interesting that was stated a few weeks ago was that they didn't plan on making another Star Trek series while the current stuff is still on the air. Or not while the current stuff is on the air, but while this current
Discovery.
Run, yeah. So
yeah, they don't want to do one of those like what they used to do, where around season 4, 5, or 6 they start staggering the other one in.
Yeah, even though they're already kind of doing that, but now Discovery takes place in a different timeline.
Yes.
Than Picard. Picard takes place in a different timeline than Prodigy. Prodigy takes place in a different timeline than Lower Decks, and Lower Decks is going to take place in a different timeline than Strange New Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to jump ahead, but is Discovery maybe going to come to an end and they're going to move to movies?
It's possible. Or, well, I mean, do they even... The TNG movies, didn't the first 2 come out while the series was still going on?
No,
they were after.
Generations didn't come out until after the show had ended, but Deep
Okay.
Space Nine was still on the air.
Right, DS9, but they never made a movie. That'd be great if we got
So
a
Generations
DS9 movie.
came out before Worf moved over to Deep Space Nine.
That's what. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
then
That's right.
First Contact came out
And he
after
had just gotten onto DS9.
after he had gone
Hmm.
into DS9. They had gotten the Defiant.
Yeah, hence why we see it at the beginning
Mm-hmm.
fighting the Borg cube.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be an interesting direction for them to go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I don't know that I'm ready for Discovery to come to an end. But you know, like every year we hear rumors from the fandom menace. It was a batshit crazy channel. I think they
Mm-hmm.
belong somewhere along the lines of the Midnight's Edge people who are like
Okay.
always like every couple of months it's like uh uh what's his name, Alex, the guy who's running it, Kurtzman. Alex Kurtzman's getting fired and Discovery is getting canceled and it's not going to have another season. And then 2 months later, we get an announcement that there's another season.
And Kurtzman isn't fired.
Yeah.
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 Well, I mean, some people just want to start shit to start shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
set the house on fire and see what people do with the blaze.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's the Nichelle Nichols documentary.
Yeah, Woman in Motion,
Woman
which
in
looks
Motion.
like it's going to be really cool. I don't know what the release date of that is.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
I definitely plan on watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like this, I
Did it say July?
I think so.
I'll look it up.
I hate using this as an excuse, but the past year has made me very cognizant of the type of media that I'm watching. And things that make me depressed, I just haven't wanted to watch.
Gotcha.
So this documentary though looks like it's going to be more of an uplifting, like higher spirited thing. Like it's not going to make me feel bad about myself watching it.
No, not at all. Not at all. Is streaming debut on Paramount Plus. Why doesn't anything just have it's actually dated as there's a Woman in Motion that was made in 2019 on IMDb. It's mentioned on IMDb here. It's a 2019 documentary.
Huh.
It's our actually. But it is moving to Paramount Plus, I guess. June 3rd. So that's pretty dope. So I guess if you want, you can look it up maybe on Amazon or somewhere if you want to, I guess, rent it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see. Yeah, I see the article now on what is this? Trekmovie.com.
I had no idea about this documentary, so I guess I'm glad for one thing for Paramount Plus.
It says it's a great documentary news has emerged during the first Contact Day events. Woman in Motion, Nichelle Nichols, Star Trek, and the remaking of NASA will have its streaming debut on Paramount Plus, home of the Star Trek universe. So maybe it hadn't actually. Maybe it was done, but then due to COVID, it never actually came out.
You know what? It probably did the festival circuits and then never had a full release.
Yeah. That's what it looks
sounds
like.
Right.
June 3rd.
Yep.
It'll be open. Yeah. So that'll be fun. I'm excited to watch it because I've met Nichelle Nichols in the past.
Oh wow.
I had the opportunity to interview her. I want to say maybe 3 years ago at WonderCon.
Mm-hmm.
It was either WonderCon or Comic-Con. I don't remember which one it was. But she doesn't do a whole lot of the con type stuff anymore because she's getting a little bit older.
Right.
We know that she has Alzheimer's and has good days and bad days. So I'm excited to watch this to see because like unfortunately when I interviewed her, she wasn't completely aware of what I was interviewing her about, so it was a very strange experience for me. She was really cool though. I really enjoyed getting to talk to her about the different things. I just wish it had been a little bit better. But in this, I know, they can edit it so that they can like really get to the meat of what they were talking to her about. Because like whereas
Right.
I only had like 5 minutes with her, so it
Mhm.
was hard to get what I needed to, or what I wanted to, I
And
should say.
yeah, that's so nice though that she even wanted to do that despite the difficulty.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
well, because this type of thing is so important to her. Because even like when I talked to her, that was like pretty much like I was supposed to be talking to her about a new movie that she
mhm,
had co-written with someone else. Um,
right.
and like you can go on. I don't want to get into all of like the background stuff, but you can go online and read about all of the trouble that she's had with like her family stuff and with someone that had been taking advantage of her. And I think
Oh,
that was the guy that was involved in that. So
hmm,
there was a whole lot of weird reasons why I think that interview went the way it did.
gotcha.
But what it kept coming back to for her was that like Star Trek was like, and like the Star Trek fandom is like a family to her, and that
Hmm.
everything that came about in her life because of her being on Star Trek just such a big part of who she became and why she became the person that she is, which is why I'm really excited to kind of watch this and go back through the history, because I'm sure there's a lot of stuff about her that I just don't even know.
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the fact that, like, I mean, I didn't know for the longest time of her contributions to NASA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I learned about that maybe 10 years ago or so. So, like, and I mean, you hear about NASA all the time, but what was the movie that came out not too long ago that was talking about the black women that had worked at NASA? By the numbers or something? Not
Something
by
like
the
that.
numbers.
It was about the woman who wrote the code
Yes. Yeah.
for yeah.
Whenever that movie, so I guess not 10 years ago, whenever that movie came out, is because I was reading up on that
Mm,
and reading about the history and all. And then it had segued at some, website or something
yeah.
saying like, well,
I
Nichelle
mean,
Nichols actually is the pioneer to get all this happening.
and like I don't, I think it's in one of the boxes that's on the other side of my room. I don't have it back here yet.
It's not underneath Deadpool's head.
No. I own a Barbie. The
You
like
what?
a Barbie.
Uh-huh.
It's
Is it O'Hara?
it's the Uhura Barbie figure.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
cool.
because I was like, this is like, if I'm gonna own a Barbie, it has to be this one.
It's got to be. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And now was that made back when O'Hara was on Star Trek, or was it something years later?
This I don't know if they had released. I don't think they had released one back then.
Hmm.
But this one that I have is only like 4 or 5 years old.
Oh, okay. So it is a newer thing.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a newer.
Okay.
Like I don't know if it's a reissue. Like
Right.
like they reissue like the 7 inch Star or 12 inch Star Wars action figures all the time.
Yeah. Or the
So
giant GI Joes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
this might have been one of those type of
Hmm.
things where they had one of those like maybe back in the 80s or 90s or
Right.
70s, and
Which would be
they just
cool.
re-released it. But yeah, so I mean she has made a huge impact in that world.
Yeah. Yeah, she has. She has. And I would love to think that they actually had an O'Hara Barbie doll back in the 70s and 80s, but I seriously doubt it. I mean, the fact that Daisy Ridley got like chopped off from some of the toys when the new Star Wars movies were coming out gives me little faith that they actually made an Uhura toy back in the day.
Yeah, so let me see. There is a 25th anniversary Uhura,
Oh,
um,
okay.
a 50th anniversary, which is I think is the one that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Let me see, but I don't know if that's like the 50th anniversary of Star Trek or the 50th anniversary of that doll.
Right. Yeah.
Let me see. Let me try adding release date to this. Okay, so it came out July 5th, 2016.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's a newer thing.
It's fairly recent,
Yeah,
which is still great.
yeah,
Still cool that it's done. Third,
yeah, absolutely.
what is that? 40 years too late, 50 years too late, but yeah, 50 because you just said the
Yeah,
50th
yeah.
anniversary. 50 years late, but Better late than never, I suppose.
I guess.
So what else do we have to cover? I mean, there's tons of
Yeah, there's
things
tons of stuff,
on
and
Paramount Plus.
there's still new. Let me pull here.
They're doing new interviews. The
Yeah.
panels are done, but they're just chatting. Will Wheaton's got like a whole bunch of just interviews and talks with people. Like so while you're looking up the schedule, I know we had watched and I had seen prior when Q came on, or well, when John Delancey. So it was Will Wheaton, Patrick Stewart talking, and Patrick Stewart was just talking briefly about how he's excited for season 2 and how he can't divulge much, but there's a lot going on. And then Will Wheaton's Patrick Stewart by bringing John Delancey in, and Patrick Stewart's reaction is just amazing. I love it. And it's what I love about it too is that a few minutes later when John Delancey talks about the episode in which Picard like slaps his face in response to Q saying you're the only friend I have. When John Delancey came on the stream and Patrick Stewart recognized that was John Delancey there, Patrick Stewart put his hands on his head and he's doing that. It was fun.
So I don't see any more listings for like the schedule of additional things that are coming later. I know that there is a lot of stuff that's going to be later that they were talking about. There's the First Contact Day swag that you can buy. There's a mug.
There's a hoodie, I think.
Yeah, a hoodie.
Yeah.
A couple of T-shirts. A Sherpa blanket. A First Contact movie poster. First Contact Day. A black and white mug. A Live Long and Prosper mask.
And one lucky person gets the Enterprise. The entire Enterprise.
A Star Trek Starfleet Academy Zephram Cochrane Memorial Library die cut sticker.
Oh, a die cut sticker.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on the site. There was a model of one of the ships that I don't see here now.
Donnie said Daisy Ridley's father is a longtime Trekkie.
Interesting. There was a model of the Phoenix that someone released too. That I might actually end up buying that. Speaking of First Contact, completely random coincidence. So, I don't really use Facebook all that much,
right?
But I've started popping back on there like every few days, just kind of like doom scrolling.
Sure. Like you do.
Yeah. Do you get not friend requests from random people, but the suggested people you might know?
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten one where you're like, I don't know this person, but I kind of want to friend request them because of who they are?
As in like a famous person?
Yeah.
I got my first one 2 weeks ago.
Who was it?
Keegan-Michael Key.
Really?
Yeah.
How many mutuals do you have?
Actually, we have 14.
Interesting. So the one I've gotten a few different people. Danny Fernandez, who's like she's a writer for TV stuff, and she's also like in the nerd sphere, of like hosting things. She's popped up before just because I do this stuff. So I've like 20 or 30 different mutuals with her, but I've never met her before. Clark Gregg showed up one day.
Oh, that's cool.
I had a couple mutuals with him. The one that popped up 2 days ago, though, I was like, oh man, James Cromwell.
What? No way.
So I looked at it. I was like, is this like actually James Cromwell? So I had to click on it to go to his profile. Yeah. I'm like, this is really James Cromwell. I only have one mutual with him.
I was about to say.
It's
sometimes it gives you suggested friends without a mutual friend, and I'm like,
the mutual was a producer on one of the first couple of features, scripted features that I worked on. So I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense. But I was like,
So did you click the button?
I did not.
Yeah.
I can't do that because I'm like I'm not that kind of a nerd.
Yeah.
Like I mean I'm a nerd, but I'm socially aware of like my place and things.
Yes.
Um,
But then again, nobody ever made anything great by sitting back.
yeah, it's just I feel uncomfortable when people I don't know friend request me.
Yes.
Um, like there was I don't want to call out any names because I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but someone had messaged me on Facebook a couple of like a few days ago,
Hmm.
after our Ranger show
Sure.
last Saturday, and she
Just
had
a
gone.
random person.
I well, so I
Random
thought,
to you.
yeah. It was one of our audience members,
Oh, okay. Okay.
who wanted to talk to me about something that I had said on the show,
Sure.
um, but she had gone to the same college I went to.
Oh, wow.
So I saw that pop up, and I was like, "Oh, this is someone that I know that maybe I know, or maybe she found me through one of the alumni groups, and
Right.
saw that I worked on something and is just hitting me up about whatever." So I clicked OK, and then as soon as it got to something about Power Rangers stuff, I was like, "Oh no."
You did it.
Yeah, and I talked to her because I don't want to be an asshole,
Right.
but if it hadn't have if
I hope it was a productive conversation. I
Yeah,
hope it
yeah,
was
yeah,
good
yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't a bad conversation.
Okay.
But if it wasn't for the fact that she had gone to the same college I went to, I would never would have accepted the message request because
Yes.
I just get weirded out by random people messaging
Doing
me.
that. Yeah, I get
I couldn't imagine being famous enough that random people would come up to me like Joe. Joe had a dude follow him into a bathroom at a convention to talk to him.
because he works for Screen Rant.
No, well, just because of the Power Ranger stuff and the
Yeah.
Screen Rant stuff,
Oh,
like
wow.
he knew who he was. So this dude just wanted to talk to Joe
Hmm.
and followed him into the bathroom and starts talking to him as he's
That's
taking a piss. And
scary.
I'm like, I don't like. I understand that if I ever get to that point, that's going to have to be something that I will deal with,
Right.
and I'll deal with it as best as I can. But because I don't want to be a dick to people.
Yeah, of
But
course.
it's one of those things where I'm gonna be like, oh, that's not cool. Don't do that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a level to fandom that is
Yeah,
just
I
it
mean, like
borders on the uncomfortable.
I've been to parties where there's been well-known people.
Hmm.
Just because I have a couple of friends who are actors, so I've been to like birthday parties where people have shown up. I've been
Right.
to like Comic-Con parties for like Entertainment Weekly or IMDb where there's been like bigger name people there.
Sure.
And I see people that I want to talk to, so like I'll go up and I'll start a conversation with them though. But I try not to make it weird. Like
Yeah.
usually, it'll start off with like, "Hey, um, just want to say I'm a big fan. I love your work. Don't want to
Hmm.
be like weird or anything, but just wanted to say hi."
Right.
And then if they keep if they decide that they want to chat, great. If not,
Then
I will move on and respect their space. Like
yeah.
like I've had conversations with what I can't remember her name is losing me right now. Did you ever watch Angel?
Uh, maybe a bit of it.
Um,
Yeah.
she was in Angel. She was in Gifted. Like she was the mother in Gifted.
Okay.
Let me look up her name because now it's gonna drive me nuts.
Not Charisma Carpenter.
No.
Not Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Nope.
Then no, I probably don't.
Let me see.
Heck, I didn't even know. And Lord forgive me, I can't remember her name again. The woman that played Willow is a host for Penn and Teller.
Yeah. Well, I told you about my experience, my almost
Yeah.
experience with her.
Uh-huh.
Amy Acker.
Amy Acker.
Amy
Okay,
Acker.
I do know who Amy Acker is.
Amy Acker was at a party that me and a couple of other people were at down in San Diego for Comic Con, and
Hmm.
uh, uh, someone I had I'm not going to discuss what my conversation was, but I was talking with with one of the other people that I was with. And I was like, oh, there's Amy Acker, and I'd worked on Much Ado About Nothing
Yeah.
At Joss Whedon's house, and had I just I'd seen her there. I had like a funny encounter with a couple of the other with a couple of the other actors. So this so this guy that I was with, he was like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to her. and I thought he was going to go over and share what I just shared with him, which would have been extremely embarrassing.
Mhm.
But instead, like he was just being a dick to me and just being like, oh, just went over and said hi. And it was like, hey, my buddy over there worked on Much Ado About Nothing for a couple of days. So like pulled me over and was like, hey, look who's here. So I talked to her for a few minutes there, and that
That's
was kind of,
cool.
yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Sam Witwer, who's like
Oh,
he's been in a ton of stuff. I saw him at the Saturn Awards. I had a conversation with him. Um, Jodelle Furland, I had a really awkward encounter with at the Saturn Awards.
okay.
Okay.
Is that something? I mean, we're already an hour and a half in.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So
now we're completely off Star Trek.
Completely off topic. I'll share the story. Then we'll check
Well,
out.
I can give you my one so that
Okay.
you know.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No. Finish your story though.
So I'm at the Saturn Awards in the press area, and we're like taking pictures of the winners and the like everyone that's coming through the press room.
Right.
And someone keeps walking in, and I like when a door opens on the opposite side of the room and you can hear it, you look over to see who walked in.
Right.
So I kept hearing the door open, and I looked over and saw who it was. I'm like, I know who this is. I can't place her face, but I know who she is. And I can't figure out where I know her from. I've had a lot of encounters with a few various actors and people where I'm like, I think I know you, but I actually just know you from TV.
Okay.
So I've had a few of those. So this was one of those where I was like, do I know her? Or do I just know her from something else? Couldn't figure out where I knew her from. So I kept looking over, trying to figure out who she was and why I thought I knew who she was. And at one point, as I'm looking, it looks like she makes eye contact with me. So I'm like, fuck, she just caught me staring at her. Now this is gonna be weird and creepy because I'm just like staring at her, and she has absolutely no idea why, because I'm 30 feet away on the other side of the room. After the show ends, there's an after party, and we like a lot of the people go out there. So I'm sitting there at a table with some of the other people from our group, and she walks over to the bar that's like right next to where we were sitting. So I was like, fuck, how do I deal with this situation? Because I'd figured out who she was.
Right.
So I get up and I walk over. I'm like, hey, I just want to apologize if it looked like I was staring at you and being creepy. I was just trying to figure out where I knew you from. I'm not like a weird creepy guy.
And then you proposed. It got weird.
She looks at me, and I can't. I legit to this day, 5 years later, I can't tell if she was fucking with me or not. But she was like, I did not see you staring at me. And I was like, oh, I just made an awkward situation for myself out of an awkward situation for myself.
Yeah, but okay. Yes. We can't be staring at people, period. That's not cool. I mean, unless you got some issue going on and you just blank out. We all have that for a moment. Yeah. But like, honestly, no, like, had she noticed you staring and the fact that you came over to apologize for that, that's pretty dope. The fact that she was so gracious in giving you that out is even more dope. I love that story every time you tell it.
She kept going with it though too. She was like, "So did you figure out where you know me from?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, you were on Dark Matter on Sci-Fi, and you were in Stargate Atlantis, and blah blah blah." And she's like, "Yep, that's who I am." I was like, "Cool." but we ended up like just like standing around bullshitting for like 15-20 minutes or something like that,
which is great.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. And
that could have gone much worse.
It could have been a lot worse, and let's just say it didn't go in the direction that I wanted it to, because someone else came over and made things awkwarder.
Right.
I could have kept the conversation going with her for longer, but then someone else kind of wedged their way in and did not bring anything to the discussion.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'm leaving.
Before I share my story, I do want to comment on Donnie. Donnie had mentioned our thought about Discovery's first ever GLAD win. I think that's fantastic, personally. I
Oh
was
yeah,
really happy to hear that. Anytime, you know, and I think it's well deserved. It more than many shows, Star Trek has a history of trying to be inclusive, of trying to push the boundaries, both socially, racially, you know, all of it. Star Trek is very good about that. So I'm really glad that they got a win. Why it didn't happen sooner, I don't know. But I mean, there's only 3 seasons of it out at the moment,
yeah,
so you know.
yeah.
But I'm really excited they won. I hope that they win again. I hope that maybe one of the other shows that's coming out can take. Maybe Strange New Worlds
Yeah,
can.
well, I mean, I think part of the reason that Star Trek Discovery won now is because of the topics that were covered in season 3. There were
That's true.
like even though we had Wilson Cruz and Anthony Rapp as like the first really openly gay couple on Star
Right.
Trek. Oh, excuse me. There were more discussions in season 3 that went over and above that kind of inclusion.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Like
Well,
like
I'll have to.
Discovery introduced like the first non-binary character,
Awesome.
not including Dax, because I don't really count
No.
Dax
Yeah.
as non-binary or trans, because Dax itself is a symbiote.
But
It's a symbiotic creature that can go into
into
whatever.
others. But
Yeah.
that was the Dax character was kind of moving
It
in
was
that direction.
it was bridging the gap there,
Yes.
even though it doesn't.
And
It's sort
that
of like a
Yeah. And that was at a time where that conversation wasn't even in the
yeah.
zeitgeist.
Hmm.
You know, like so few people were willing to have that conversation, even just about themselves, much less as a society.
Right.
But so I'm really eager to see what is happening in season 3. I can't wait for these watch-alongs. So to share my story, and I'll be quick about it. So I was at a pool hall in Hollywood. This was many years ago, and I was there with a friend. My friend ended up having to get out because they had an audition that they had to get to the next morning, and then I just wanted to stay for one more. So I went up to the bar, and then this guy was next to me, and we just started chatting. Turned out we're both actors, and I was. I'm at this point in time, I'm fairly new to Hollywood, and I'm, just like any advice, anything goes, yeah, you just got to keep at it, and get lucky with finding the right agent and all that sort of stuff. And then he talks to me about a commercial that he just booked and all that, and I'm like, congrats, man, that's great. And he goes, yeah. And then we just start BSing for about 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then some random person walks up to us. And they just look between us and they go, I'm so sorry to interrupt the conversation. And then they look to the gentleman I'd been talking to, who had introduced himself as Dash. And he goes, I wanted to say that I absolutely loved your work in Romeo and Juliet, and a few other things. And he goes, oh, thank you very much, and shakes the hand, everything. And then we start talking a few minutes, and in my brain I was like, oh, he must have been in a production of Romeo and Juliet at one of the local theaters or something like that.
Right.
And then we keep talking, and then I don't know how it clicked in my brain, but suddenly I saw him. He's the gentleman that had played Benvolio in Romeo plus Juliet, in the Leo DiCaprio, Claire Danes Romeo and Juliet. And I've been talking to this guy for roughly 30 minutes, even after somebody mentions who he is. And I still didn't. And then I had to sit there. I go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't. He goes, no, it's fine. It's great. I honestly didn't recognize him because, I mean, at this point, Romeo and Juliet, that came out, 97?
Yeah.
96?
Yeah, 96, 97.
96. Yeah. And then this was 2013, 14 when this happened. So the movie's almost 20 years old, and the guy definitely does not look exactly the same.
That's Dash Mihawk, right?
Dash Mihawk.
Yeah.
I
know him. What do I know him from? Because I never really got into like that Romeo and Juliet, but I know him from The Day After Tomorrow.
Yes.
He was in that, and he was also in. I think he was in an episode of Pushing Daisies.
Possibly.
And in I Am Legend, he was the main like vampire type dude.
Was that Dash Mihawk?
That was, yeah.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. I actually enjoyed that movie more than I thought I would. Not as much as I wanted to, but more than I thought I would.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a completely different movie than the Charlton Heston one.
Yeah,
I mean, the Charlton Heston one is the Omega Man.
Mega Man. But it's the same story.
It's based off of the same book.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my one story, and I'm sure I've had others, but like that's the one that always comes to my mind. Is when I met Dash Mihawk, and I didn't even know I met him.
Yeah.
Until like the end of our conversation.
Yeah, I've had that kind of stuff too. It's like I don't mind telling stories about me making an ass out of myself because that's just my that's a Tuesday, you know.
Yeah.
That's just
as
me.
long as it doesn't happen on a Friday, though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like I don't mind making an ass out of myself as long as I don't offend people.
That's I think that's a good rule of thumb to live by. Honestly, if more people weren't afraid of making an ass of themselves, as long as you're not afraid to, as long as you're not offending people, not afraid to.
Yeah, and if I do something and I'm like, oh shit, was that offensive? I will apologize. Be like, I didn't mean that the way it may have came across that it came out.
And self-awareness is one of the best gifts. To go back to the GLAAD Awards, it's I think part of probably what makes Star Trek so amazing is that the writers and the producers, they try to be so on top of what's happening, at least within America, if not the world, and kind of really take those. And for the most part, not do issue-based pieces out of them, but kind of pepper it in there, or they put in enough of it to make you aware of it, but not so much that you feel like you're being beat over the head. Which is, I guess, kind of a segue into next week's episode, which was today, Detained, because that is one of the few message plays that are what do you call those? Passion plays. That they did at least within Enterprise. But they try not to do that too much with Star Trek.
Yeah.
Because Star Trek overall has good messages, so they don't have to hit you over the head with a hammer about it.
Yeah. So plugs. Just really quickly. There is no Twitch stream for us tomorrow because I will be on my way up north. Sitting in the car for 7 hours.
Next week.
So next weekend we'll be back at Star Trek Online. And now that we're past the tutorial, so we'll actually be able to start like really playing the game. Tomorrow night, though, you can join us back here on YouTube with the Illuminerdi Wrestling Order. They will be talking about tonight's WrestleMania and everything else that happened over the course of the past week in the world of professional wrestling. Tuesday, we have It's All Connected and one of our Sentai shows. And then I believe tomorrow morning, the Retro Sentai show is on at 10 a.m., I think. Thursday is our watch along for episode 5 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That'll be starting up around 11:40 p.m. PST and going until probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. So I might make Shay run that show because I'll have to be on set early the next day. And then we'll be starting this all over again next Saturday. In the meantime, if you want to chat with either myself or Jamie, you can hit Jamie up on Instagram at the username that you can see right below his chin there. And for me, you can catch me on Twitter. I have an Instagram, but I don't really use it. But my info is right there as well. And
you have a Facebook, but you don't really use it.
Yeah, I do have Facebook. I don't really use it. I do have a Facebook business page that
I do have. I go by my actor name, Jamie B. Klein, which is just my middle initial.
Yeah. So find Jamie there, like his stuff. Watch his shit, you know.
Please don't. No, just like my stuff. Don't watch my shit.
And I guess that'll do it for us for this week. I guess this went on a lot longer than we had originally anticipated.
Yeah.
But that's fine. So
it was fun. I had fun.
Yeah.
You have fun?
Yeah. I had fun. I'm gonna go do laundry.
What would you rate this week's episode?
I will rate this week's episode a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 5 because Q's coming back.
7/5.
11.
7 of 9, 9 of 7.
9 of 7.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. Later, Donnie. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.